Good day, I'm Twyla Whelan and this is your JIS News for Wednesday, November 12, 2025. The agriculture sector has suffered a massive blow of an estimated $29.5 billion in damage from Hurricane Melissa. Portfolio Minister Floyd Green made the revelation in the House of Representatives on Tuesday. He revealed that domestic crops suffered losses of $8.8 billion, banana and plantain $2.9 billion, fruit trees $337 million, tuber crops $4.5 billion, and coffee around $800 million.
Our most productive agricultural zones have taken the hardest hit, which also includes parts of St. Anne and parts of Clarendon. Our preliminary assessment, conducted in collaboration with RADA, NFA, NIC, Banana Board, and our other agencies, reveal approximately 41,390 hectares of farmland has been affected, impacting over 70,000 farmers, with a loss of over 1.2 million animals, including small ruminants.
In response, Minister Green says the country will have to tap into external sources and import select fruits and vegetables over the next 2 months to stabilize supply and protect household food security. This will cover tomato, lettuce, cabbage, sweet pepper, carrot, and papaya. These were chosen for their dietary importance, low stock levels, and projected supply gaps. The ministry will also facilitate the immediate importation of table eggs to fill any shortfalls and help stabilize availability.
The damage is extensive and heart-wrenching. Yet in this ruin, our farmers and fishers are hopeful and eager to start again. We will ensure that they can go again.
Meanwhile, the government has reactivated the Agricultural Disaster Recovery Task Force to spearhead national efforts to rebuild the farming sector. Minister Floyd Green unveiled a multi-billion-dollar recovery plan to help farmers restart production during his statement to Parliament on Tuesday.
We've had outreach from ICA, who have pledged an initial support of US $30,000, and the United Way, who today launched their Restoration and Rehabilitation Fund for Agriculture, of which the first donor was our 100-meter world champion, Oblique Seville, who gave $500,000 towards the rebuilding effort for agriculture.
Minister Green says the recovery of the sector will require an all-hands-on-deck approach, with work already underway.
An immediate allocation of $450 million from the remaining production incentive program is being redirected to emergency recovery, including replanting, restocking, and land preparation. This is part of a larger $3 billion plan, the full details of which I will outline in subsequent updates.
Additionally, $40 million worth of seeds will be distributed this week through RADA, while another $80 million has been allocated for emergency procurement. These are in addition to $50 million for seeds and $30 million for agrochemicals. To boost production quickly, RADA's tractor service will offer free land preparation for 6 months, and all seeds and planting materials from Bodles and RADA nurseries will be free for the next 3 months. Minister Green says early replanting will focus on less affected areas, especially eastern Jamaica and the agro parks, to quickly restore food supply. The Ministry of Health and Wellness has developed a 3-phase health response program to address the impact of Hurricane Melissa. Portfolio Minister Dr. Christopher Tufton says all components of Phase 1 have already been mobilized. In a statement to Parliament on Tuesday, he explained that Phase 1 involved providing relief, restoring health services, saving lives, and preventing diseases.
As part of our overall strategy, Phase 1 requires us to implement 5 components. One is the rapid assessment to all health facilities. Secondly, the repair and mobilization of health infrastructure to restore services. Thirdly, our mass environmental health mitigation actions. And fourth, psychosocial and mental health interventions to the population impacted, both staff and citizens, and our staff welfare action.
Dr. Tufton further asserts that the ministry, in collaboration with partners at PAHO and UNICEF and support from the National Health Fund, has completed 40% of the national assessment component of the program. He also advises that Phase 1 of the program will take place over 3 months followed by Phase 2, which is aimed at re-establishing all health services to pre-hurricane levels. Phase 3 will then focus on reconstruction as the country rebuilds disaster-resilient infrastructure. The development of a disaster relief management system is in the final phase of testing and is expected to roll out across all ODPEM warehouses this week. Director General of the Office of Disaster Preparedness and Emergency Management, Commander Alvin Gale, says the system will aid in the agency's accountability framework.
The ODPEM continues to direct and coordinate efforts among government agencies, local authorities, the private sector and international partners to ensure that the aid is equitably distributed in an efficiently coordinated process, thereby preventing wastage, leakage or diversion.
Commander Gale, who was addressing a press briefing at Jamaica House yesterday, disclosed that to date over 80,000 care packages have been delivered to the national system and just over 500,000 meals. He says 190 flight hours have been utilized to deliver over 60 relief supply drops.
To date, locally and overseas combined, just over 14,000 donors have inputted cash through our systems with just over $400 million in those systems. The ODPEM, on behalf of the government of Jamaica, has also received into our stores just over $500 million worth of aid, with over 80% rate of distribution for the relief items.
Commander Gale says more items will be pushed out from those stores as they move further into the recovery and restoration phases. In the meantime, ODPEM has commenced the publishing of a list of marooned and priority communities. The agency will also be publishing planned relief supplies to synchronize national efforts across the island. Director General Commander Alvin Gale says 2 communities, Petersville in Westmoreland and Duckets in St. James, remain marooned.
To be clear, marooned communities refer only to communities that are completely cut off and solely accessible by air, where no road, be it double or single access, is available. These communities can only be reached by air.
Rising waters continue to impact communities such as Content, Comfort and Evergreen in Manchester, as well as Brighton in St. Elizabeth. According to the latest update from ODPEM, over 182 communities felt the wrath of Hurricane Melissa, with majority being in Western Jamaica. 130 buildings sustained damage, with 30,000 households displaced. Up to news time, 88 shelters remained open across 9 parishes, hosting approximately 1,100 persons.
While some persons have remained home, many continue to rely on the shelters as we work to restore access and provide restoration to damaged homes. I'm happy to report, however, that we are in touch with more than 90% of the shelters in Western Jamaica.
Still on shelter, the government is exploring temporary housing solutions for persons that will provide more dignified accommodations than the emergency shelters. Information Minister Senator Dr. Dana Morris-Dixon says the temporary solution is until permanent rehousing is established. Figures last week showed that over 116,000 housing structures concentrated in Westmoreland, St. Elizabeth and Manchester sustained severe or catastrophic damage as a result of the hurricane.
So as we're doing these discussions in Cabinet, we are looking at something that is good for people, not just, throwing up something for individuals to go. And so those conversations are ongoing. We've already gotten some quotations in terms of what different options there are around the world. We're getting some international support in terms of what has worked, what has been used elsewhere. And so we're working through that. We do have Cabinet continuing on Thursday and Friday, and so we will be looking at that and getting more information to you on the temporary housing solutions.
The official death count from Hurricane Melissa has risen to 45. 15 persons are still missing, 9 deaths are under investigation, and 33 post-mortems have been conducted. The information was shared by Minister Dana Morris-Dixon on Tuesday.
Those are 45 families that are hurting deeply, really, really hurting. And so as we look at that number, we pray for those families. We pray that God will comfort them. It's a hard time. It's a hard time to deal with the death of a family member, plus be dealing with the aftermath of a hurricane. And so I ask all of Jamaica to please pray for these families as they traverse this very, very, very difficult time.
The highest number of deaths were recorded in St. Elizabeth, with 18 fatalities, followed by Westmoreland with 15. 6 deaths occurred in St. James, 2 each in Hanover and Trelawney, and 1 each in St. Anne and Portland. The nation will be engaged in 2 national days of prayer on Saturday, November 15 and Sunday, November 16.
And this came out of a meeting with religious leaders where a national religious and faith-based hurricane task force was set up. We're a praying country and we know prayer works. And so this was very important, and you'll get some more details on the National Days of Prayer that will happen this weekend from Minister Grange.
And finally, donors, donations and volunteers are increasing as support continues to pour in for Jamaica. The latest update shows that credit card donations to the government supportjamaica.gov.jm platform reached a little over $1 million and 53.2 million Jamaican dollars.
There are donations that come in directly to the account, and so at our next briefing on Thursday, I'll be able to give you the total that has come in via direct deposit to the accounts. What I've given you is just for the credit card transactions.
In addition, 3,921 volunteers and over 170 small and large donors are registered on the relief portal. The information minister says these donors have brought relief items onto the island with the support of the government.
In addition to that, we have 40 bilateral partners. That means 40 countries have provided aid to Jamaica, and we are so grateful to every single country, every bilateral partner, and the Ministry of Foreign Affairs and Foreign Trade has been doing a tremendous job coordinating all of that. 31 of them have already sent through their contributions. The other ones we're working to expedite those contributions.
The volunteers will be engaged for the Clean Up Jamaica exercise, which was approved by Cabinet on Monday. The date will be announced shortly. And that's it for JIS News Today. I'm Twyla Whelan. Thanks for watching.